Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Just enjoying a bowl of McBaron Vanilla Flake in my Acorn Cuddy from Missouri Mission. Good pipe. And enjoying it with some Michigan Cherry coffee. This combination, fantastic. Fantastic. So, I woke up this morning a little nostalgic. I thought I would do a quick video on growing up 80s in that series. Talk some about Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, growing up in the 80s, how simple of a time was that? Truly, how simple of a time was that? You know, the biggest thing to look forward to were the cartoons and starting your day off. Always remember, man, always had a big bowl of cereal. Cereal that was absolutely no good for us, right? Full of sugar, full of everything else, full of marshmallows, whatever else we could get our hands on. Lucky Charms was a favorite, still is a favorite. I was a big honeycomb fan. Anything with the crunchy marshmallows and anything like that I could get, loved it, loved it. But I found a cool website, and that's why I thought about doing this quick video. This guy put together the TV guides that he had. He pieced together what cartoons were playing at what times in the 80s. And, some of them I remember. Some of them I admit I don't remember as much. Obviously, the big ones, the Smurfs were huge. Super Friends was one of my favorite. Absolutely loved the Super Friends. Amazing Spider-Man was another good one. I definitely remember that. Just so many good memories. So many good memories. Just sitting there with your big bowl of cereal and just sitting in front of the TV. And you only had 3 or 4 channels. You had ABC, CBS, NBC, and I vaguely remember when, Fox, I guess, was starting up. I don't have that timeline, but I vaguely remember a 4th channel coming online. But that was it before cable. Think about it now, man. We could rewind, pause, stop live TV, come back to it, fast forward commercials. We had to suffer as kids, man. We had to suffer through those commercials. But marketing was smart. They marketed it to us. I mean, it was kids, it was toys, it was all that kind of stuff. So the commercials were actually really, really fun and really cool to watch. So, man, what a different time. What a different time. I always remember, too, I loved when the Dukes of Hazzard came on. I know they always were on Friday night, but I loved when they came on Saturday. When they came on, this guy's website showed it came on about 10:30, which is about what I remember. So you'd sit there with your bowl of cereal, watch your cartoons, and then start making plans. In the summer, it was surely going to be pool when it opened, wiffle ball with the friends, riding bikes all day long, Just in the small town I grew up in, we were like a daggone motorcycle gang, man. There was always 5 or 6 kids on a bike going somewhere. Bikes, and I've said this before, you could tell where all the kids were because there'd be a pile of bikes out in front of the yard, and that's where everybody was at that time. You just ride around until you found everybody. But man, how cool. I woke up this morning, like I said, a little nostalgic, and woke up and, what a different time. I was flipping through Hulu and all the choices I have and looking at maybe watching some old Twilight Zones, and man, everything's on demand. I can see whatever I want, when I want, for how long I want, on my schedule. That wasn't like that, right? In the 80s. You got what you got, and if you missed it, and you had to wait till next week. That's just the way it was. You'd be mad. If you missed the Roadrunner and Bugs Bunny and Wile E. Coyote, you were screwed. Sorry, man. Catch you next week. There was no going back to catch it. I guess later on, maybe not entirely true. Later on, as a kid, I guess there was a time when we did have a VCR. So you could record on your tape if you truly wanted to. Also remember, you know, not just cartoons, but the countdowns on the radio. What got me thinking about that is recording on a VCR. But I remember always buying blank tapes and be able to record the top 40 countdown. Casey Kasem, you know, you'd either record it all or you'd wait till that song. You'd sit there all day. You were waiting for that new song that came out. Oh, it's going to come. I know it's going to be in the top 10. And when it came, man, you had to mash the record the record button and the play button. I think it was record and play. Gosh, that's going back a minute. But you had to mash your buttons, get them all set up, and record it, and there you had it. Then you had it, man. And then you could listen to it when you want. That was big time, right? Big time. But, man, I know I always do these videos and I feel like I'm old. Well, I am old, but I feel like, when did I turn into my parents and my grandparents about, you know, you kids got too much technology and you don't appreciate, you know, I think of what we had, and looking back from where we are now in 2020, looking back 40 years now into the 80s, things were quite different. So things weren't even close to what the kids have now. So, you know, when you put that in perspective, think about your parents and grandparents if they flip back 40 years from the 80s to the 40s. And how different things were, country at war, all kind of stuff going on, rationing. So the times have changed. Boy, have they ever. But man, I would never give up my Saturday morning cartoons. No way, Jose. Big bowl of cereal. And, you know, like I said, full of sugar and crap. You know that what you're eating was just junk. But damn, it was good. Damn, it was good. And they still make some of that stuff. But I haven't had a big bowl of Lucky Charms or anything like that. And God, I couldn't tell you how many years. But that was always awesome. That was always awesome. Waking up with my brother and fighting over the TV about who wants to watch what. And he wants to watch Smurfs and I want to watch Super Friends. And there's one TV and, you know, how do we, you know, and when not everybody had a handheld device and could have everything going on demand and watching whatever you wanted, you had to fight over, and I remember all the fights, not just on Saturday morning, but just, you know, growing up, I'd be wanting to watch, you know, whether it was a sporting event or a sitcom or something, and he wanted to watch Mr. Rogers or something different, or Electric. He was a big fan of Electric Company, for those that remember that show. 3-2-1 Contact, that was his jam too. I wasn't the biggest fan, so, you know, there was always a fight over who's going to get the TV and who's going to watch what. I'm going to tell Grandma on you, and, you know, it just, man, how times have changed, how times have changed. But Saturday morning was just magical, right? It was just a magical, magical time. You look forward to it all week. You know, you couldn't wait till Saturday morning. It was just the start of the kid weekend, you know, with nothing to do and just nothing to do except what you wanted to do, which wasn't always true. There was always stuff to do. There was always things that had to be done, grass that had to be cut, stuff like that had to be done. But, man, good stuff. Anyhow, thanks for taking that trip down memory lane with me. Man, what were your memories of the 80s? What was your jam? What did you like to watch? Were you a cartoon kid, or were you more of the after school? I remember the after school specials would come on too, which was kind of weird, but they would come on. I can't remember what Captain Caveman was on. I mean, the Flintstones were a big one. I think Captain Caveman may have been one with the Super Friends, but remember the Shmoo? Not a lot of people remember the Shmoo, but on that guy's website, they had I think it was in 82 or 83 in the spring, they had a run of Fred and Barney Meet the Shmoo. So not a lot of people remember the Shmoo, but I like the Shmoo was awesome, man. It Good dude. Well, was he a dude or was it a dude? It may have been a lady. I don't know. It was the Shmoo. We don't know. Good stuff, man. So maybe I'll flip on demand and go back and grab some of those old cartoons and see if I can find a Shmoo and some of these other folks. Anyhow, I won't tie you up. I won't tie your day up. If you watched this far, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for taking that trip down memory lane. Hopefully it jogs some memories for you. That's why I like doing these, you know. Good times, man. Wishing you all the blessings in the world. Pay it forward out there, and we'll catch you later. Have a great Saturday, everybody. Take care.